This is something of a continuation of my last video, but also I would like to specifically talk about a new point that I had glossed over last video. Now, in my last video, I had said that I thought game reviewers were going to be more honest with this game because they were saying how bad a lot of the early stuff was before the reviews themselves. And then the reviews came out and it had a 7.5 average. Hope is wasted on the hopeless. I don't understand this at all, and I think that this is an issue with the way that reviews themselves are broken, more so than reviewers in this case. Though it is partially reviewers that are broken. I have read a lot of these reviews, and this summary holds true for the majority of them. Yeah, the animation looks like crap, the writing is terrible, the controls are okay, the UI is bad, everything about this is clunky, it's barren, there's nothing to do, and it's just a gigantic slog to get through everything. But it's Mass Effect, and I really like the Mass Effect series. 8 out of 10. I'm not joking. That's how most of the reviews that I've read can be summarized. And I know that people have gone on and on about how review sites are bad because they tend to be biased for specific reasons. But this is just so blatant. Now, to their credit, I would say that Mass Effect Andromeda is probably in the same category as No Man's Sky right now. It is completely barren. It is launched well before it should be. It gives you a lot of gameplay, sure, but there is absolutely nothing to do. And you just find yourself trudging through it, forcing yourself to get to the end. And they averaged that game out at a 7.1. So they're not too far off. People have averaged both of these games out at around a 4 point whatever. And I would say that's about more fitting to where it should be. It should be right about at average or just below. And therein lies the key issue. Game review scores are overinflated to all hell. This is nothing new. 7 is average on most game sites. The problem is, even if you know that, 7 seems to be treated as if it's good rather than just average. Even if they say, well, our 7 is an average, people look at a 7, and even other companies look at a 7 and say, oh, the game did fine. It's positive reviews. Average is positive. Okay. Maybe I had higher expectations for this, but average, or to me just below average, is not in that. I mean, hell, one of the things that I was giving credit to this game for was that it was stable. I justified the game looking like shit because they tried to make it as stable as possible, and in a good number of these reviews, the reviewer themselves said they ran into multiple game-breaking bugs and crashes. And yet they still gave it 7s and 8s. A lot of people I have seen have said, oh, well, you're just being really critical of this. Don't worry, it's going to be good later on. I don't deal in the futures and hopefuls. I deal in the now. And the now of the game is, it is bad. And yes, I do know that this was a different BioWare studio that did it. That doesn't matter. They had 5 years, 200 odd employees, a huge budget. This is not something that should have happened with that many people working this long a time. Unless, of course, the people themselves were completely and totally incompetent. And again, maybe because I like BioWare games and have been such a long fan, I have higher expectations. I fully admit this. But to say that this game is anything besides average is delusional. At the best of times, it's average. At the worst of times, it's absolutely hilarious how bad it is. I'm even going to link to a scene that I just recently saw that captures the beauty of this game, where it has me in stitches that the writing couldn't, for all the wrong reasons, but it's just so beautiful. You have to watch it to realize that it really exists. My main point here is that reviews seem to be heavily biased towards these big companies for reasons I don't quite understand. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And scores, especially, are just overinflated as all hell. I don't trust game reviews because of this. I trust people that I've seen play the game, people that I know whose tastes align with mine, individuals that I can trust rather than companies or sites. And I would hope that a lot of others are following suit with me and seeing these reviews for the jokes they are. Maybe in the future, these review sites will actually change the scoring back to what it should be, that a 5 is average rather than 7, and they'll be a bit more honest with their reviews as opposed to being honest in these sort of op-ed articles and then being super ultra positive, this is fantastic, in their quote-unquote reviews. Again, hope is wasted on the hopeless, but I can dream. This has been Math Machine just saying, don't look at reviews for honesty and objectivity. There's usually very little to be found of either. Peace out.